9 points this season and 6.6 assists. But I think at this point in their respective careers, 1-for-1, I think Jayson Tatum has surpassed him. He's averaging 30.2 points. He is younger. He has less injuries on his resume, and the eye test just confirms it. When I watch Jayson Tatum, I see a guy who has figured it out, who's clicked, a guy who knows his spots on the court, a guy who knows how to win a game, a guy who knows where to go, how the ball's gonna go, who's coming up to. It looks like something clicked for Jayson Tatum, and that made all the difference for the Boston Celtics. Now, I'm not the only one that thinks this, right? I think the Boston Celtics organization think the same thing, evident by how in the offseason, when Kevin Durant requested a trade and was available for a trade, they could have straight up 1-for-1 traded Jayson Tatum for Kevin Durant, and they opted not to. Why? Because they saw what Jayson Tatum did in the playoffs last season. And also, another NBA legend, Paul Pierce, thinks the same thing. Now, Paul Pierce is a Boston Celtics legend, and he is a fan, so he might be biased, but I still think that he's correct. Now, moving on from Jayson Tatum, another linchpin for the Boston Celtics is Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has bloomed into a magnificent number 2 player for the Boston Celtics. In my opinion, I think he outplayed Jayson Tatum in the NBA Finals last season, and I think that's just because the moment just got a little too big for Jayson Tatum. But to me, it's clear that when you put these 2 players next to each other, you can tell that Jayson Tatum is the star and Jaylen Brown is the number 2. Every superstar needs a number 2. Every Micheal Jordan needs a Scottie Pippen. LeBron had Kyrie Irving and Dwayne Wade, Steph Curry had Klay Thompson, Kobe had Pau Gasol, and Jayson Tatum has Jaylen Brown. And moreover, I think the Celtics have really overcome the difficulty of being a young, inexperienced team. Because you have to remember, before the Celtics made it to the NBA Finals last year, there were talks of breaking them up. People thought that enough time had passed for the experiment of Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum together, to which anything that was going to be fruitful would have came out of it. And so prior to them making the NBA Finals, they were going to break them up. But what did they do? Something clicked for them. They figured it out. And what happened? They swept the Brooklyn Nets. They beat the Miami Heat. But unfortunately for them, they met a great dynasty in the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. But I think the experience of knowing what it takes to get to that level, the grit, the determination, and the caliber of play that it requires to make it to the NBA Finals, I think that since the Celtics experienced that last year, there was no looking back for them. I think it clicked for everybody on that team. They knew what it took, what they needed to do if they wanted to ever be that successful again. And that is great for a young, upcoming, potential dynasty of a team. And I really think this team has matured, because remember, just like the Golden State Warriors, there again is that similarity between these 2 teams. The Boston Celtics drafted all the key components to this team. They drafted Jayson Tatum, they drafted Jaylen Brown, they drafted Marcus Smart, right? Just like the Warriors drafted Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. And when they needed extra help, they went out and they got Kevin Durant. And the Boston Celtics have done the same thing. They went out and they got extra help from a veteran player in Al Horford. And furthermore, I think they've matured, evident by the fact that they didn't miss a beat, even though the coach that took them to the NBA Finals last year, Ime Udoka, got ousted, and it didn't matter. I think they've come to that point in which it doesn't matter who the coach is, kind of again like the Golden State Warriors. When the Golden State Warriors had Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, it didn't matter who the coach was. Yes, I know Steve Kerr is a good head coach, but really, you could have put anybody there and they would have won a championship. And actually, I think that did happen one time. Steve Kerr was out with a back injury and Mike Brown came in and they made it to the NBA Finals in 2019. And I think it's the same thing here with the Boston Celtics. I think it doesn't matter who the coach is. They figured it out. It's clicked for all of them. They know what it takes now, and they know they have the talent to make it. And that is very scary for the rest of the NBA. I think this team is poised and has the potential to be the next dynasty for the NBA, the dynasty of the 2020s. But yes, guys, those are just my thoughts on this whole situation. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, kids.